Welcome to Webcertain TV. Today I'm here with Sven Wilhelm, who is the SEM manager for Sport-Thieme, an online retailer selling sports equipment based in Germany. Sven shared some of these insights yesterday at the International Search Summit in Munich. That full talk is available online, but he's here to give us a bit of an overview and some key tips for managing automated bidding in PPC. So hi Sven, thank you for being here.
Thanks, it's my pleasure to be here.
So firstly, in case anybody watching isn't that familiar, what exactly is automated bidding and why is it beneficial in paid search?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of development happening in the last couple of years in regard to automation when it comes to bidding. And automated bidding strategies are a form to use machine learning to move away from manual bidding to actually have software do this work for you.
Yeah.
So historically, account managers used to go into the account and change bids for the keywords manually. And we are kind of moving away from this more and more.
And of course, that is becoming a common strategy, and obviously most digital marketers understand that some level of automation you need just to be able to manage things. However, there's also always a worry with automation that it's going to have a negative impact, that it's not going to be as good as manual. So how does it compare, and what are the kind of things to be aware of to make sure it doesn't cause you any problems?
Yeah, I think it usually works quite well. So I've tested it in different environments during the last couple of years. So one thing you can say for sure that it saves you time and resources.
Yeah.
Simply put, so if a machine does it for you, you can focus on something else. But it normally does improve your performance. It doesn't really improve all your KPIs the same way. So it's quite possible that if you use an automated bidding strategy to focus on revenue generation, for example, that you might even get less clicks and pay more per click, but get a better revenue out of it, or a better target return on advertising spend. So it's important to kind of know what to look at. And it's not really working with all setups. So you really need high conversion numbers to feed the machines, feed the algorithms to get good performance.
So for example, if you're a startup or you're a business that's just started in a new market, so you don't have a lot of traffic and you're just building awareness, it's probably not a good strategy to use.
Yeah, so I think if you are building a new account, a new SEM account, you probably have to put in a lot of manual work first before you can leverage automated bidding strategies. So there's a threshold which is about 30 conversions for the last 30 days for CPA bidding. Okay. And about 50 conversions for the last 30 days for target return on advertising spend. Bidding, most companies will probably not reach this threshold initially, so it takes time to get there. So it means that in the initial phase, or especially if you are expanding internationally with your accounts, you will probably have to keep bidding manually up to the point where you can actually make use of automation in that sense, yeah.
And which tools are there for that? I assume Google offers an option for that. Are there any others? And how do you choose which one to use? Yeah,
there are quite a few companies who offer solutions for this. So on the one hand, there's Google internal solutions. If you're an account manager and you logged into your account, you will see messages not popping up, but kind of like being there, asking you to improve your performance by switching to an internal Google bidding solution, which is quite easy to switch on, doesn't really cost money. It also doesn't really cost money maybe to test it. So you could, if you feel like you've reached the point that you have enough conversion volume to actually use automated bidding, you could split your traffic by half and kind of test how your manual bidding performs compared to the automated bidding. But of course, there's plenty of third-party companies that you just connect basically to your Google Ads account, for example, and then they can optimize your bids for you as well.
So a bit of trial and error and a bit of research maybe to see which one will fit best for your company. And
yeah, so I think what you have to compare is your manual bidding compared to maybe the Google internal solution, and then compared to a third-party solution. So you can also test third-party solutions very well by using Google experiments, where you just run 50% of your traffic with the Google internal bidding solution and 50% with a third-party solution, and there you get a pretty clear picture which one is performing best.
Yeah.
What is currently happening is that Google's smart bidding especially is using a lot of contextual signals that third parties cannot access or cannot use, or
Right.
combinations of signals. So for example, if you bid manually, you can have a bid modifier for day of the week, time of the day, if your potential customer is male or female or something like that. That's just very basic contextual signals that can also be used by third parties, and quite a few more, but some are exclusive currently to Google internal solutions, which is why you should really test them compared to third parties. They might be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you are starting this, you're using this kind of approach, what are the kind of key pitfalls you need to be careful for? What are the main things you should keep an eye on to make sure that you get the best value from it?
Yeah, so I mean, what can happen, what I've seen happen, is that if you set your targets kind of wrongly, for example, if you have a CPA target that is too ambitious, for example, then your traffic might just slowly die out, or if your conversion volume is not high enough, the same might happen that in order to reach the performance target, your bid strategy might also just kind of like bid down, and then your campaign just kind of dies off. So you can't really switch it on, and it goes well by itself. You have to monitor it and potentially switch it back to manual bidding, and kind of maybe group campaigns together in a portfolio to get enough conversion volume and to make sure that they all have kind of similar values. So you shouldn't really have maybe shoelaces and shoes in the same bidding portfolio, because if you have a CPA bidding behind that, because then you're going to end up selling a lot of shoelaces and very few shoes probably, because it's much easier to get those conversions than the expensive ones.
On the smaller ones, yeah.
So
kind of a key message is it's automated, but you can't just set it, press play and press play and let it go. You have to kind of
because things happen within your portfolio. There might be kind of focus on one kind of keyword away from another, and it's also possible to have keywords which might only become relevant in a certain time of the year, which kind of just stay in the account, and they might get a couple of clicks here and then, but maybe before Christmas they get all the clicks, for example, and they become important then. And as a human account manager, as a human, you know that before Christmas you should switch on certain keywords, and the machine learning that you just switch on might not know that. I mean, they're trying to make all these connections and everything.
And I suppose the more times you do it and the longer these run for, they become
I would assume that if you run
better.
them long enough, they have this information next time.
So other than when you've only got a very small conversion, are there any cases where you would say this probably isn't the right approach, or really should anybody managing SEM accounts be looking into this and trying it?
I mean, today at the conference, quite a few of the presentations are going to focus on machine learning, and I think words like terminators and drones and are the terminators taking away your job and everything is going to be a very important topic at the conference. And I think it's kind of interesting to keep testing as an account manager from time to time. If you reach a point where automation in that bidding sense is reasonable to do, but there's still plenty of manual work to do. So I think it's figuring out where it works, automating this, and then just do a bit more manual work to make the rest even prettier. That's probably the best strategy to follow.
Okay, great. Well, definitely lots for people to look into and hopefully do some experimenting with. Thank you very much for sharing that today.
Good luck experimenting, and thanks for having me.
Thank you. And if you'd like to watch Sven's full talk with more examples from International Search Summit Munich, you can do so following the link below.